Okay, so many of you are going to just understand intuitively within just a few seconds what the answer is. But it is worth pointing out that we are at question 21 of 22 in the first module. And even in the first module, that could be a hard question. Here, I think it's hard purely because a lot of people have trouble with percentages. And so let's set a good habit here. The way to handle percentage questions is to use the open formulas. So there are two of them. One of them just looks like the word open. That's why I call it the open formula. The other is going to change it slightly by adding this one plus or minus piece. And the first thing we need to think about is which formula to use. Now, because they're talking about decreasing by a percentage, that means we're going to use this formula. This is the percent change formula. So that's why there's a one plus or minus that's the change. That's representing the change. So let's put things in. So the expression 0.35x represents the result. So that's probably the new value of decreasing a positive quantity x. So that's my original by what percent? Well, it makes sense that we are solving for p because they're asking what percent. And lucky for us, the open formula is very intuitive. So it says decreasing, so we're going to use a minus sign as we do that. So basically our goal is to solve for x here, or to solve for p here. Now, with two variables, that might be annoying. So one other move we can make is let's just get rid of x. Let's arithmetize. Let's make a number for x, and let's make it 100 so that we don't have to think about the percentage in a very complicated way, right? So that means that the expression 0.35 times 100, which is 35, is the result of decreasing a positive quantity x, so 100, by what percent? So another way to write this now is that 100 times 1 minus p is equal to 35. Now it's a little bit more intuitive to solve for p because we actually have numbers. So we divide by 100, we get 1 minus p is 0.35. Then we subtract 1, and negative p is going to be negative 0.65. And then we get rid of the negatives, p is 0.65. Now we got to be careful. I don't think there's really a huge temptation to do this here. But one thing about the open formulas is that the p is the percentage as a decimal. And there's lots of mathematical reasons that we use it as a decimal, but that means we have to convert it back to a percentage when we actually want to think about it that way. So they're asking for the percentage, so we have to multiply this by 100 to get back, and that's 65%. So D is the answer. Like I said at the beginning, many of you just intuitively kind of would have known that that's the answer. But I really think you got to get in some good habits with these percentage questions, because when we get to the really hard ones, either in the hard module or on the SAT, your normal thinking about percentages is going to get you in trouble. They love to set traps here, and the formulas keep us from falling into those traps.